All right, let's go and get started. Hey, is that bulb just going up? Oh. Okay. Well, I did have that there, I thought. On the final site, just decided to go. I want to go over the final site schedule and show you some examples of some final websites students have done, and then that'll be it. And so, final site project schedule, week 12, and I did email everybody this as well, plus it's on our contact page, our announcement page. It'll stay here through the end of the semester. Week 12 this week through week 14. As I mentioned last week, class attendance is optional. I told you though tonight I kind of go over some final requirements, stuff like that if you wanted to come, so thanks to those of you that showed up. Work on your final website this week through week 14. Again, next week's week 13 and week after next week 14, those class attendance is optional if you want to work from home, so you don't have to drive in, you may do so. Week 12 this week, also make sure and submit the type of website you're creating for your final, whether it be personal or business. I put an example here of I am creating a website, a personal website that helps my family stay connected. So that would be an example you could post in week 12, and there's actually a Dropbox for that. Week 15, I do need everyone on May 1st to be here. Class attendance is mandatory. I'm going to go over a checklist that we're going to go over in just a second, final site requirements, to make sure you're good to go for week 16. On week 16, May 9th, you'll present your website via an external URL or a local host using XAMPP, which I mentioned that last week as well. And so you do not have to put this on an external site if you don't want to. You can just do it on a local and present it that way. Requirements for the site are database, tables with data, user interaction with data, image page of some type, validation, message board, and user personalization. Now I want to show you some website examples inside of week 12, or week 11, I'm sorry. No, week 12, I'm right. Week 12, there is, if you go to week 12, there is at the bottom of week 12, what I just went over on submitting the type of website you're creating. Do not submit the above CMS site. It's only for practice. And then it says business or personal, and underneath that it says final site examples. I'm going to show you some examples from that link here where it says final site examples. Begin working on your final site number 2. You'll create a folder on your root of your local and external named final. If you're only going to do local though, you don't have to worry about external. So here's the final site examples of past semesters. I'm going to switch over to my Mac here and connect this way because I already have them up. So give me a second here. Okay, so final site examples. The first one I'm going to look at is there's a wedding, creative image production.com. It's this first link here. Actually used for offers high quality video and audio recording services and wedding videography. Although we offer much wider range, it says we use equipment, the Sony HD recorders, wireless microphones, so on and so forth. This is a real company, by the way, that they built the site for. Okay, they've continued on with it, as you can see, with development. And so over here on the menu, you have a home, services, samples, which this one loads a YouTube video, promo video, kind of a promo intro video for their service. It says they do wedding, baptism, concerts, events, and sports. These are also clickable as well. So if I click on weddings, brings up a video. Baptisms, brings up a video. And again, all these are embedded YouTube videos. Testimonials has people that have helped, they've helped, taking pictures, taking videos. About us, gives contact information. And then the contact us is a web form to fill out, and it does have validation. They have to enter in this format, MMDDYYY, for a year before they can submit the form. So all the requirements are made for the website. That's one example. The next one is this PHP class, I believe. This one right here. Has the login authentication with it. I've logged into some of these already, but let me test this one. Let me go ahead and register a new one. So I'll do C Tilly. Oh, error. So I haven't been keeping this one up. They did it. This did work when they created it, but it's just like the one we've been doing with the CMS example. It does have in here picture. These are actually going to different pictures that they put on the site. This one's pretty basic. The next one was, I believe, in photos. No, I'm not going to go back to this page. I'll just go click on these tabs so you can see them. The photos, this student recently had a baby right before the final, so he included some really new pictures of their brand new baby on their site. And so this is a real simple tab created site. Home, about, photos. On the photo site, you can register, and he would send you an email of the registration when it was working. I have not tested it. That's where you registered. When you registered, it said like wait 2 or 3 days or something, and it would reply back to you. Contact me, and then sitemap. The next one, a website of Brad Heimstra. This one here does use authentication. You notice I've already logged into this one, cConkle, and I chose a blue theme. If I wanted to go ahead and choose another one, this is the very same one we did in class on week 10. You just modify it, make it look nicer, and put a nicer look and feel to it. But let me go ahead and change another one. I'll change it to green and submit. And now you should see the profile CSS update the page to that green format. So that's user personalization right from week 10. The about, gallery, this one here he actually used in, you could actually come in here and I could choose a file from my local Mac here and upload a file. File successfully uploaded, and then click refresh gallery, and this is the image I just uploaded, which is a PNG file. There it is right there. That's the image I just uploaded. So that's working. It does here, it says that JPEGs need to be under 2 megs only, please. And the reason it doesn't show up here is because he only has these viewable if they're JPEG. So it shows up as an icon here. He also has here on the right some shortcuts to different other websites like W3 Schools, which I've mentioned here a lot, Google, Wired, Tripwire, Mag. Members gives all the existing members of the site, and here's mine here that I registered. Actually, this is mine down here. I just registered tonight again. And then contact is a simple contact form. So that's a very simple personal site that a lot of students over the last 6 years have created. A lot like this. This is just the most recent. This is a good example of a personal website. Yes?
Did he come up with all the CSS, or is that a template? We're allowed to use a template, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, because the CSS file that we used in week 10,
Yeah, I remember that.
that's where he started at, was with that CSS template, that website we went to.
Design just isn't my strong point. That's where it's like, I don't know if I could write CSS.
No, you don't need to. I think it was actually, I don't remember what week it was, but one of the weeks we went over the CSS template.
Yeah.
Go to that website and you can it'll create it for you. You don't need to do it yourself. No.
Then that could actually, all that code, when you copy and paste it, could be in its own external.
It's a separate file, right? Each one of the edit profiles for selection of theme is a separate CSS file. And so when you select it, it saves that field to the database. So it's like yellow, but then whenever it loads the site, it goes to the yellow.css file or the green.css file. That makes sense? And all he's actually doing, if you notice on if I choose another one here, like say red, so we can see where the green's at right now. It's actually in the, the button hovers events. There's green. His last name is green till you hover over it, then it becomes gray. The bottom here is gray when you hover over, green when it's not. So everything, and I selected a new theme. Now it's going to modify all of those to the red theme. Okay. Again, that can all be done. He actually used that website that we used for week 3 or 4 for the CSS example to create the CSS page. Okay. You could also, another option, if you do have Dreamweaver, you can use that as well. Some students over the years have used Dreamweaver for the template, and then use their CSS or PHP for the wrapper. But you don't have to. He used the CSS site that we used in this class to create the entire CSS template. Okay. Next one is this site here. Again, built upon week 10. You log in, you get an option for edit profile, and then over here is the different options given. Like this one, they have weather, news, games. 3 modules built into one page. The next one was calendar. Just a simple Google Calendar embedded. Job board. This is a plugin from iFrame, I believe, to Simply Hired. Trucks. This student loved trucks, so we put in here the latest Ford F-Series truck and put in a gallery of images that you could click on, and it would show those trucks below that you clicked on. Okay, and then some of these trucks were his, some was his friends, things of that nature. Guest book. He used Gibberbook, which is an online free guest book. Also, if you notice, I think it was in the weather, news, games. Over here on the right side, he used another one here called Form Logic. And it's just a Google form. PHP Forum. PHP BB, which is a real popular forum. It's an out-of-the-box forum for websites. So if you were to create something like this, like he did, you would actually just dump the forum code for PHP BB. It's a zip file you download. You put it in a folder called forum, and you run through the install process. It's the same concept we did last week on PHP BB. The first screen you come to, it asks you, what's your database path to MySQL? What's your username? What's your password? What's a database name? Do you want a database prefix for table? The table prefix. Same exact thing we did last week. Okay. And so if you're doing this on localhost only, that would be localhost for database or the MySQL database URL. If you're doing it on 00 web host or any other site, the podcast I did last week goes through how to connect to 000 web host MySQL database, because it's going to be a different string besides localhost. Then the freaking FCC, I believe, is a Family Guy video, which I won't show you on the Family Guy freaking FCC video, which is actually a pretty good video. It's pretty funny. So that's his site. And then Thunder Use. This student was a parent, still is a parent, I believe, at Belvedere. And this was for the 2012 Belvedere Thunder Youth Football. And she built a website for the team. And put in things like game schedule, team roster. You click on each one of these, it brings you to the players, number, position, photos. Bring up all the different photos for the team, and she just put them in here in a website, and did a BR tag after each one of the photos. Nothing real fancy, but it worked. About gives information about the football team, a little bit of information about the conference that they were in, and how she volunteers for the team. And then contact me. We did this in class. This was just same thing on sending a message. She just added a few fields, I believe, on that. She added the phone field and the subject field. This was in week 2 or 3 in the in-class lab where we did the message board. She added 2 fields, done. There was her message. So this one was actually a site used for her youth football league. And so there's a few examples of websites that you can look at for inspiration. This was mostly last semester and the semester before. Kind of pulled them from both of websites that were still up and running, because I don't, you don't have to keep your site up and running after this class, but a number of students do. There's been some of these I've actually shown, like for instance the Pete PHP class one. He's had up for 4.5 years now. He keeps it up every semester. He adds new little things to it, and so that tells me he's still working on it. He's still playing with it, and so you can do the same after this class. If it's whether it be a private site, a company site, I'll use it from semester on, semester to semester, as an example of sites students can create. And so, final site, again, requirements. And this is actually in the announcement for our class, but it's also in each one of the week's folders. You'll get the same thing, what the requirements are. I think I told you last week, if some of your sites do not need some of these requirements, let me know. I'll be more glad to, tell me why you don't think it needs it, and because you noticed on some of the ones I showed you didn't have all of them. You will be fine with that. Just let me know, and I'll say okay. And so just as long as you keep me abreast of it, then I know why. Also here in the final presentation folder, there is multiple source code examples of different things that you can download, like shopping cart, PHP stats, user personalization. On the user personalization one, it actually gives you the full week 10 download again, just a quick way to get to it versus trying to figure out which week it was in. It's week 10. Also, I believe the message board, I do not have that one in here in this link. I will put it in here for you. I'm trying to think what week that was. I think it was week 3 though. Let me see here. Yeah, create guestbook lab. Let me make sure that's it. I'll put that in there. Yeah, my guestbook, and you can add to it. You don't have to show, like I had it to where it actually shows everybody's data. You don't have to do that. You can have different fields show maybe and fields not show. Like you might not want this edit column in there, and you might just want maybe, first name, last name, and instead of email showing up over here, you might just want the message that they typed in showing up over here. So maybe add another field called message or something like that. So So it is in week 3 for that one. So any examples I have are actually in the example folder for final. Also, I believe I have more examples in the course documents. If you scroll down here, you go into labs. Yeah, that's the one that has everything. If you go into course documents and labs, it's got everything that we've done this semester as far as labs go, including the guest book. So I won't move it, it's right there. You know, we also have a PHP login script tutorial, member site. Somebody asked already about the CSS menu. There it is right there in week 5. So everything's there for you already in course documents labs for your help. Any questions on your final site? Any questions on the requirements? Yes.
With the tables and the data and do we need to display our database tables?
No, you don't. You don't need to display it.
This we need to.
You need to have them in there somewhere. Yeah. Just like on the user preference one that has the where you choose the different theme for colors. You don't see the table, but it's saving it to the table. It's saving that data to the table, to a table. So yeah, you know, I don't need to see that on the screen, but at the your final, you'll send me. I'll have all your code, so I'll see the creation of that.
So if I have a page for keeping data in and storing it in the table,
That's good. That's all I need. That's it. Yeah, good question. Good question. Any other questions on final requirements? No? Okay. Well, I'm going to hang out here probably for a while, and so if you need me, come and see me. I will be here next week as well. This is week 12, week 13 and 14. Going back to the announcement schedule, making sure I get that right. This is week 12. Weeks 13, which is next week, and week 14, class is optional. You don't need to come if you want to work at it from home, which most of you probably will, unless you need help from me. But week 15, I need everyone to be here so I can go through the checklist one time before week 16. I will be putting up in week 15, reminding everybody to bring a snack for week 16, because I'll be buying pizza that night, and then having you guys bring in all the other stuff. I do like apple pie, if anybody cares.
I thought it was German chocolate.
And I love German chocolate cake. I'm glad you remember. Yes, that's my favorite. Yeah, I get in trouble with that one, but it's my favorite. So I definitely like that. And so, but no, be more. You can hang out some more tonight, or if you want to go, you may do so. Don't feel bad. I told you I would go over the final requirements, final examples, and then if you want to work from home from now, 2 more weeks from tonight, you can work from home, and then week 15 on May 1st, you need to be here so I can go through your checklist. But you should have enough time with what I've given you to really have a good site. You know, it might not be, you know, I'll ask you this question, which I do every semester to the students in here. If you had, you know, more time, what would you want to continue? What would you want to do on this? And you'll all have something more you want to work on and to finish. So that's normal. Okay. So any questions besides individual stuff? Is yours a group or individual kind of?
Like those gallery sites, what keeps people from posting stuff on there you don't want?
Well, once they've registered, they can only post stuff up there. And they can only post stuff up there when they've registered. Now, that's site management. So you know, if you let people register for anything on a website, you're going to have to continually watch that for stuff like that. So it's, you know, any type of development you do for websites, if people are allowed to manage, like say Facebook is an example. That's a big example, but okay, anybody can register for a site, right? Could people upload? I said I almost, but could people upload, you know, pornographic images to Facebook? Initially, yes, they could. Would Facebook initially find it? Yes, and then they would, you know, cancel that account. And so, same thing with you. If you have a photo site or a photo option, there really is no way to filter images you wouldn't want. Or files, file extensions you can limit, like file types, like you can limit to where they can only upload JPEG files or something. So they wouldn't be able to upload executables or zip files or something like that. You can limit the file upload that they upload, the extension, but everything else will be managing it. Just managing it, keeping track, keeping your eye on it each day. That you'd have to do when you have a website. And I know some of you have websites already, and you know what I'm talking about. You just have to keep your eye on, you know, posts that people put out there. And sometimes you have to delete them and delete their account. And so, that makes sense? That help?
Yeah.
Okay.
And one other thing, we talked every couple of weeks there about different little scripts you could put in that keep stuff, people from hacking your script.
Yeah, we've already done that.
Well, I know, because
Yep.
you post them somewhere. I was trying to write them down every week, but
Yeah, it's actually in the, if you go into the lessons, you're talking about the HTML strip.
yeah, like that one. And
Yep.
a couple, I don't know if they're
Yeah, the strip HTML is actually going to be found in the labs, and any login script that you have, we'll have I think week 4 here, week 3, week 4, member site. They all use the strip HTML. Strip HTML of any code. See ya. So if that helps, you can look at that. Hey, we'll see you.
See ya.
Yeah, because if you go to member, like this member site here has the zip file. When you download it, it goes over the, it might actually be PHP login script too. That's a PDF file. Let's see if I have it in that. I think it is in that one. Yeah, because this, when you go in, this tutorial, create a login, check login, logging success. There it is. Strip slashes is what I was looking for. The strip slashes. So if they typed in their username field some code, like say to do a SQL injection, this would strip that code by doing strip slashes in parentheses around the actual variable. So any HTML code that might be put in there, that would strip it. So it couldn't inject into your database for security purposes. Yes?
I have a problem on my gallery. I was trying to add more pictures in. I don't know if I did it right. Trying to browse onto the gallery, on my flash drive, or I don't know if I did it right.
Okay, I can come look at it. Yep. Let me pause this.